Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Saan ka man nanonood ng video na ito or anong oras mo man pinapanood ng video na ito ng ating series para sa Practical Research 2 ng Senior High School. Ang lesson natin ngayong araw ay kinds of variables and their uses. For our objectives, we are going to differentiate the kinds of variables and their uses, and number 2, we will cite application of the uses of variables in different research. Now, why is this lesson important? This lesson will allow us to have an understanding of the differentiation between those kinds of variables, so it will allow us to have a better understanding of each variable and how each variable is different from the others. Then, we also will have the vision of the applications, possible applications in the future of these kinds of variables, things that you might use in your own research writing. Then, also important, we will be able to understand the appropriateness of the use of one variable over the other in an instance that you are conducting a research. And lastly, this lesson will allow us to clarify things that might be confusing or things that are maybe hard to understand, or you have a misconception on some part of the concepts that are going to be discussed in this lesson. So, what is variable? A variable is a characteristic of an individual or organization that can be observed and measured. It can vary among people or organization being studied. It comes from the root word vary, or simply can change. So basically, when we say variable, this is a characteristic of a certain group or a certain individual, wherein one individual or one organization or one group can have different level of those characteristics or different kind of that characteristic in comparison with the other group. So for example, when we talk of age, for example, as a variable, then one person can have a different age than the other. One group can have different average age in comparison to another group. So that makes it a variable. According to Bernard, 1994, variable is something that can take more than one value. And values can be words or numbers. The most common variables in social research are age, sex, gender, education, income, marital status, and education. So let us take the previous definition in the context of these examples given here. Now, for example, sex. So one person can have a different sex than the other. Similarly, on gender, on a wider spectrum, one person can have a different gender. One group can have more gender association on a particular gender than the other group. One group can have more association onto gender, which are binary. The other group might have a more association on non-binary genders. In education, it's the same. One person can have different level of education than the other. One group can have an average of a different level of education than the other. Income is the same. Marital status is the same. In this case, it should be clear that variables are these kinds of characteristics, that it can change or it can vary from one person to another, or it can vary or it can change from one group to another. Now, these are the types of variables. Basically, we are going to discuss today 4 types of variables under this part of the lesson. First one is nominal. The second is ordinal variable. The third one is interval variable. And the fourth is ratio variable. So, first, nominal variables. So, nominal variables are variables which cannot be arranged in a way that these variables are having ranks or association of order. So, if a certain variable can be categorized wherein one characteristic of a person is lower or higher than the characteristic of another person, then it can be categorized as ordinal variable. So that's the main difference between the two. Kung siya ay pwedeng lagyan ng hierarchy or lagyan ng order, magiging ordinal variable. Pero kapag hindi posible yon, so magpo-fall siya under nominal variable. Now, for example, when we talk of gender, no gender is superior over the other gender. So therefore, gender or sex is a nominal variable. Another example, let's say, starting letter of the first name of a person. So we cannot say that A is superior over the other, or Z is superior or Z is inferior over the other. So therefore, siya ay magpo-fall under nominal variable. Some of the other examples that we could give for nominal variables are blood type. So walang blood type na superior or inferior, or hindi mo pwedeng i-rank yung blood type. Race, political party, political affiliation, zip code. Wala namang magsasabi sa'yo na yung zip code mo ay lower or higher than the other, kasi hindi naman siya just number, it's basically names. Kaya nga sa tinawag na nominal variable. So basically, ang principle dito is names. So eye color is also one, and religion. These examples that I have given are also given on your lecture as well. Now let us proceed with the ordinal variable. As I have said before, ordinal variables are variables which can be ranked, or we are viewing it as if there is a hierarchy on the possible response or possible observations under this variable. So some of the examples are grade level. So we could say that grade 8 is higher than grade 7, obviously. So it could fall under ordinal variable. When you talk of grade level in terms of their achievement. But when you talk of grade level as names or category na hindi nagre-require ng hierarchy na mas mataas yung grade 7 over grade 6, then therefore, hindi na siya mako-consider as ordinal. So, yun dapat nating malaman. Hindi porke nabigay, or this is for clarification, hindi porke nabigay sa example ninyo na ito ay ordinal or ito ay nominal, ibig sabihin na nun na siya ay strictong laging nagpo-fall under that kind of category. Kasi, depende yan sa treatment na ginagawa ninyo sa inyong research. Gaya ng sabi ko kanina, yung grade level ay pwedeng maging nominal, pwedeng maging ordinal, depende sa paggamit sa research. Kung siya ay ginagamit mo bilang groupings lamang, not part of the intention is showing that grade 7 is lower than grade 8 or grade 9 is higher than grade 8, then siya dapat ay mapunta ng nominal. Pero in any other case wherein you are trying to describe a certain variable wherein ipinapakita mo yung ranks or yung hierarchy ng isang group over the other, or isang tao over the other, or characteristic ng isang tao over the other, then you are using an ordinal variable. Some of the examples given on your lecture are satisfaction rating. So, satisfaction rating, kung siya ay may mga certain level of category, obviously, yung, for example, satisfaction rating that is described as fair is lower than satisfaction rating that is described as very good. So, kapag ganun yung setup ng inyong variables, then malinaw na siya ay ordinal. Socioeconomic status, as given on your lecture, is also an ordinal variable. So, yung upper class is higher than lower class and middle class. So, ganyan yung mga klase ng variables under ordinal variable. Again, sana lang malinaw na hindi porke nababanggit sa as an example of one variable ay lagi na siyang mag-fall doon. Again, for clarification or for better understanding, depende siya sa paggamit mo sa research. Now, let us proceed with interval variable. An interval variable is a variable that has values that lie along an evenly dispersed range of numbers. For example, yung mga measures na nakikita natin, like net worth, yun yung given na example sa inyong lecture, employees' net worth. So pag in-explain natin yung employees' net worth as an interval variable, it could be explained this way. So, ang interval kasi niyan is based on every peso or centavo count. So, kada step ng centavo or peso, pare-pareho 'yon. Similarly, kung siya ay measure of length, for example, pwede ding maging interval kasi ang kanyang dispersal or yung distance from one point to another along the whole horizon is equal or even. Not necessarily equal kasi may mga variables na hindi naman talaga equal pero even yung distribution depending on ranks or depending on order. Now, another example is pH level, body temperature, or SAT scores or yung mga scores na nare-receive natin na may lowest and highest score. Now, it is worth mentioning for interval variable yung lowest and highest maybe or just the lowest score kasi pag nag-proceed tayo dun sa susunod na variable which is ratio variable, merong konting similarities yan. Actually, yung ratio variable is another type of an interval variable. Kung saan, ang difference nitong dalawa na ito, yung interval variable is even yung dispersal, even yung pagka-disperse ng range of numbers, which is similar to the ratio variable. However, the difference is where is the starting point. Kapag ang starting point niya is not zero or not absolute zero, or you cannot identify whether that would start by zero, then ang ginagamit mo ay interval variable. So, general naman yan. Mas general yung interval variable. However, kapag ang iyong variable ay nag-start from an absolute zero, or ibig sabihin wala, or pwedeng kung siya ay mga bagay na ginagawa or mini-measure, kung pwedeng wala or pwedeng zero ang value at magsisimula siya doon sa point na yon up to a certain level, then ang ginagamit mo ay ratio variable. Some of the examples given on your lecture are dose amount. So, yung dose amount magsisimula kapag sinukat mo yan. So, magsisimula siya sa 0 pataas. Yung concentration, ganun din. From 0 pataas din. Yung weight is the same. Yung scale na ginagamit natin starts from 0 up to a certain point kung gaano kabigat yung aabutin. Distance is the same. Reaction rate, flow rate, pulse rate, and length. So, lahat yan ay nagsisimula sa certain point na 0 up to a certain level. However, ang difference again with the interval variable is that yung interval variable start at a certain point that is not 0 and extends to a certain level. So, yun yung tinitingnan natin. However, again, ang similarity naman nila is meron silang equally dispersed or evenly dispersed na range of numbers. So, again, let us review. The following are the 4 types of variables. We have nominal variable. So, para matandaan natin ng mas madali, let us consider this as names. Then ordinal, the keyword is order. Then interval and ratio variable na kadidiscuss lang natin. Now, let us proceed with the kinds of variables naman. So, under kinds of variables, we have independent variables. We have dependent variables. We have intervening or mediating variables. We have control variables. So, these are 4 kinds of variables naman. So, let us discuss this one by one. Starting with the dependent variable. Independent variables are basically those kinds of variables that causes a certain change on the other variable. So, kung pagsasabayin natin ang discussion ng independent and dependent variable, mas maiintindihan natin siya. So again, independent variable and dependent variable. Now, kung alin yung nagkukos ng change over the other, so that is independent variable. And then, the other is dependent variable. Kung siya ay under ng experimentation, kung saan mo nilalagay yung treatment mo, nandoon ang independent variable. Tapos yung bagay na posibleng magbago because of your treatment is termed as dependent variable. Pero hindi naman siya karaniwang nandoon sa experimentation. Pero kung ang tinitingnan mo lang is degree of association or relationship between two groups, doon papasok yung independent and dependent variable. So, by definition, dependent variables are those variables that depend on the independent variable. So, basically, that's why it is termed that way. And at the same time, they are the outcomes or the result on the influence of the independent variable. So, saan ba siya ginagamit? Now, dalawang research ang common na gumagamit nito. The first one is the correlational study and the other is the ex post facto studies na diniscuss natin nung nakaraan. Now, kung titingnan ninyo dun sa ex post facto, di ba, cause and effect. So ang cause is yung independent variable and the effect could be observed on the dependent variable. Now, let us proceed with the intervening or mediating variables. So, intervening and mediating variables are kinds of variables that are placed or that are observed in between the association between two variables. So, if there is a certain independent variable and a certain dependent variable, however, the association between these two groups or the relationship between these two groups can be described with the assumption that another variable is trying to intervene or trying to dictate this change, then yung bagay na nagdidikta ng posibleng change over the dependent variable is so-called the mediating or intervening variables. So again, linawin natin, meron kang independent variable, meron kang dependent variable, and then yung intervening variable, although ang assumption na natin is may degree of association between these two groups, na yung independent variable ay nagkukos for the dependent variable to change. Now, posible na along the way, may variable na nakakaapekto pa doon sa change na yon. That because of this kind of variable, posibleng tumaas pa or ma-accelerate yung degree of association, or posible rin naman na bumaba yung degree of association depending on the variability of this independent or this intervening variable. So, on the example given on your lecture, a teacher is studying on the relationship between cooperative learning and academic achievement. So, inaalam dito kung ano daw ba ang magiging epekto kapag yung mga estudyante ay nagagawa ng activities in groups. So, ang assumption is that kapag grupo yung mga estudyante, tataas ang academic achievement. However, alam natin na may mga estudyante na hindi talaga nag-work in groups or hindi sila by nature designed to be participative in groups. So therefore, yung characteristic na yon ng pagiging introvert or extrovert ay pwedeng ma-considered as intervening or mediating variable, thereby accelerating or dictating the acceleration or deceleration of those change that could happen. So yes, there could be changes that happen in between or relationship that is existing between two groups. However, apektado siya ng personal trait ng estudyante na yon. So, therefore, we can consider the student trait or that particular characteristic kung anumang variable ang itatawag mo doon as intervening or mediating variable. Now, let us proceed with the control variables. So, control variable is a special type of variable that is an independent variable. So, yung control variable natin is lagi siyang nandoon sa independent. Gaya nga nung sabi ko kanina, kung saan mo nilalagay yung treatment mo on experimentation, then that is your independent variable. So, this time, mas magiging malinaw siya in the discussion of control variables. Sabi ko kanina, yung independent variable under experimentation is kung saan mo nilalagay yung iyong treatment. Now, we are going to clarify na kapag siya ay independent variable na naglagay ka ng treatment, hindi mo na siya pwedeng tawaging control variable. Because control variable means that it is a certain variable or a certain set of characteristics of a certain group or a certain specimen that is being retained as constant based on its environment and its natural setting to take the association of that characteristic in a natural environment onto your dependent variable. So again, linawin natin na yung independent variable, pwede mo siyang lagyan ng treatment para malaman kung anong magiging epekto nung treatment na yon papunta doon sa dependent variable. However, kung gusto mong malaman yung effect nung characteristic nung isang variable na na-observe in its natural environment, in its natural settings, in its natural state, then ang ginagamit mo ay independent variable na control variable, which means that you are retaining the state wherein it's all in the natural settings that it is. Okay? So, ang gagawin doon is i-observe mo or i-quantify yung lahat ng observable characteristics na curious ka or parte ng research mo para malaman kung anong association ng mga characteristics na yon onto your dependent variable. In the example given on your lecture, the example states that there is a study that is aimed to determine the effect of the exposure of a certain plant on different colors of light and trying to find out whether that could change the growth of the plant. Now, in this example, there are three categories of variables involved. The first one is the variable that is the color of light. The second is the variable that is the plant growth. And the third variable is with regards to the plants that are being used on the experiment. So, bali, tatlong klaseng variable ang ginagamit dito. Una, yung kulay ng light na gagamitin, or kung ilan mang variations meron sila. Then the other is the dependent variable, which is plant growth. Now, sa gitna nun, kailangang magkaroon ng control variable. Bakit? Kasi, kung hindi mo gagawing constant yung plant na gagamitin, kung hindi mo gagawing constant yung pinagtaniman sa kanila na lupa at yung amount ng water na tinitake ng plants na yon, posibleng maging lopsided yung experiment. Kasi magkakaroon ng question dyan kung iba-ibang halaman yung ginamit or iba-ibang klase ng lupa pala yung pinagtaniman, although pare-pareho ng plants yung ginamit, or nasa iba-ibang age pala yung nagamit na halaman. So, dito, malinaw natin makikita yung tatlong klase ng variables na independent variable, which is yung color of lights, and then the control variable na yung plant na ginamit. So, for example, ang ginamit ay tomato plant na nakatanim sa paso ng certain quality of soil and dinidiligan sa ganitong amount ng water. And then, the other is plant growth, which is the dependent variable. Now, that is the value of having a control variable. Kasi mapipreserve ng control variable yung validity noong ginagawang experiment. Kasi nga, naiiwasan natin na magkaroon ng ibang impact yung mga factors na posibleng makaapekto dun sa magiging result na ipapakita ng dependent variable. So again, let us review the kinds of variables that we have discussed today. We have independent variables, we have dependent variables, we have intervening or mediating variables, and control variables. Now for your activity, this is an exercise that you could use or you could do. Cite a research concept that shows the correct use of variables and provide discussion. And could also answer this question: what is the importance of the appropriateness of variables used in making a successful research project? So if you will be able to answer these questions, then you might be able to show your understanding of the concepts of variables and their uses, and at the same time, you will be able to show the understanding on the part of the appropriateness of the use of variables. Kasi pag nagkaroon ng change or nagkaroon ng error sa paggamit ng variable, posible na magkaroon din ng malaking epekto yon sa results ng research and in the general research writing in general. So with that, this closes our lecture for today. Thank you very much for listening.